Before I get into this video, I just want to make this quick little disclaimer. This is not some manipulation tactic where I isolate you from all of your loved ones and try to get you to join my cult. We do not do that on this channel. In fact, what I actually want for you is I want you to have more enriching relationships with all of your loved ones. But in order for you to do that, you have to become a better version of you. And that is why in this video, I am going to explain how you can disappear and elevate yourself so that you can come back successful and shock literally everyone. And not only shock them, but inspire them. Now, the first thing that you need to do to disappear and come back successful is you need to delete social media. You need to delete social media. Why do you need to delete social media? Why do I talk about this in almost every self-improvement video that I make nowadays? The reason why I talk about this so much is because this right here is what kickstarted my initial period of isolation, where I was able to elevate my life so that whenever I did eventually return to social media like I did recently, albeit to create content, not to consume content, but when I did return to social media, I was able to do it at a much different level of life. What do I mean by that? Well, social media, in the way that you more than likely use it, is very likely your single greatest distraction. I would actually venture to say that social media is more detrimental to your overall success than video games, pornography, junk food, and pretty much any other distraction that you could think of combined, other than maybe hard drugs. And even that, social media gives a run for its money. Social media is extremely detrimental because it takes away so much of your time and your energy, and it also makes you feel very bad about yourself when you see other people doing better than you. And because you feel bad about yourself, you enter into this cycle of guilt and shame over not being where you want to be in life, even though a lot of times these people are simply showing the highlights of their lives and not the reality of their day-to-day lives. But that's a different discussion for a different day. Because you see these standards that you are not reaching, you feel worse about yourself, and you feeling bad about yourself makes you want to scroll more to ease the pain. And when you do this, you quickly find yourself in a cycle where you are spending literally 6 to 8 hours a day on social media. You're treating social media as if it were a full-time job, except you are not getting anything in return. And you may say, well, I follow inspirational and motivational accounts on Instagram or on Twitter or whatever other social media app people use these days. But I'm here to tell you that none of that matters if you're not actually applying the things that they say. And I was once in that position where I was consuming a lot of motivational content, but I wasn't actually applying it in my day-to-day life. And I was wondering why I wasn't making progress. The reason why I wasn't making progress was because instead of taking the time to apply the information, I was spending all of my time doom scrolling on social media, stuck in that cycle that I just explained. In order to break out of that cycle, you need to delete social media. This doesn't have to be a permanent thing that you do for the rest of your life, although whenever you do it, you will very likely want to do it for the rest of your life because you'll realize, just like I did, that social media literally contributes no value to your life whatsoever. And you might be thinking, well, Jordan, this is where I connect with some of my loved ones. Maybe I don't live close to some of my loved ones, and this is how I keep in contact with them. And to that I say, download WhatsApp. That's what I did. I downloaded WhatsApp, and that allowed me to keep in contact with people with whom I could not otherwise keep in contact with because we lived in different locations. And one of these people ended up becoming the person who is now my girlfriend. In fact, me deleting social media helped me quickly identify who was worth keeping in my life. Because when I went through all of the group chats that I was in, when I reached out to all of the acquaintances that I had that I thought were actually my friends but weren't, and I gave them a way to contact me outside of social media, guess what happened? Only a few of them reached out to me. And I quickly realized that, wow, I actually don't have that many friends. But this allowed me to really invest in the few friendships that I did have. And like I said, one of those friendships ended up becoming a romantic relationship, which then inspired me to move to a continent that I had literally only visited one time, to a country that I had never previously visited, where I am now essentially disappearing and working on myself so that when I do go back to see my family, I can be in a completely different position, even if not financially, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Now, I'm going on a tangent here, but the point that I'm making is you need to delete social media in order to actually start taking action in your day-to-day life. Delete social media, isolate yourself from the world of your acquaintances so that you can invest more deeply and more fully into your actual real friendships. Now, once you have deleted social media, you need to take some time to determine what it is that you actually want. What do you want in life? Take some time to really think about what you want, not what you want to want. This is a big distinction that most people fail to make. Why is that? The reason why is because they're constantly being influenced by what they see on social media. They see people driving certain types of cars and living certain types of lifestyles, and they're conditioned to believe that because they are receiving validation for living those types of lifestyles, that is what they should want as well. But what you'll quickly find is that when you get rid of that external influence, you give yourself permission to start thinking in terms of what you actually desire for yourself in your own life. What do you want? Maybe you want to live in a cabin in the woods. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to live in the hills in LA. You don't have to drive a supercar. If that's not something that you value, then you shouldn't make that your goal, because you're going to spend your whole entire life pursuing these goals that even when you do get them will not enhance your quality of life because you didn't want them in the first place. Take the time to determine what you want for yourself. And once you do that, once you determine what it is that you actually want, this is where the fun begins. Now what you need to do is you need to take all of this extra time that you have that you used to spend scrolling on social media or interacting with these acquaintances who actually don't really care about you all that much. You need to take that time and you need to allocate it for maybe a month or two toward obsessing over success. What does that mean, obsessing over success? Well, now that you've determined what success actually looks and feels like for you, once you've taken the time to visualize the life that you actually want to live, the life that moves you emotionally just to think about, and you've given yourself permission to pursue that in spite of what the world around you might want you to pursue or expect you to pursue, now it's time to reverse engineer that lifestyle. So what you need to do is you need to, like I said, obsess over success. More specifically, you need to find people who are living that kind of lifestyle, and you need to figure out what they did to get there. Now, what some people would recommend is that you find one person and you follow their journey step by step. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I don't agree with that in the slightest. My methodology is to find as many different sources as possible. So find as many different people who are living the lifestyle that you want to live as you possibly can. And what you want to do is you want to reverse engineer all of their journeys. So read their autobiographies, listen to their podcasts, their interviews, their live streams. Maybe if they're accessible, you can ask them questions about their story. Figure out how they got to where they are. And once you do that, for enough people, figure out what all of them have in common. So when you begin to do this, when you start reading autobiographies, when you begin to look more deeply into how people become successful, what you'll realize eventually is that everybody's path looks different. And your path is no exception to this, which is why, once again, I don't recommend following step by step what somebody else did. What you need to do is you need to figure out the fundamental steps that are non-negotiable. And the only way to do that is to find the common denominators between all of these different paths. So, for example, with my life, when I knew that I wanted to get to a certain point on YouTube, 100,000 subscribers, once I established that goal in my mind, I literally obsessed over people who had reached 100,000 plus on YouTube. And for the people that I found, at least, not saying that everyone's journey looks like this, but for the people that I myself found and followed, they all posted daily content. So what did I do? I started posting daily content too, because I knew that, hey, all of these people who likely don't even know that the other ones exist, people who don't even know of each other, all took this step right here. Maybe I should take that step too. Maybe I should take that step as well. I should start posting daily content. Doesn't mean I have to post the same type of content that they posted, but really I ended up posting sort of a mixture of all of the content that all of them posted, because ultimately what they also had in common was that all of them made it their mission to inspire other people. So I told myself every day I'm going to make a video that inspires other people. And I did that, and lo and behold, I hit 100,000 subscribers. Wow, surprise. Another thing that I noticed was that all of them, without exception, either live in or have lived in Los Angeles. A lot of people probably wonder why I seem so obsessed with LA. That is the reason why. I know that, hey, if everybody who inspires me has lived in LA at one point or another, maybe I should move there too. And that is the plan. It may not happen next year. It may not happen even in my 20s or 30s. But eventually, my girlfriend and I are going to live in Los Angeles. We are going to move there. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what it takes, as long as it's within the moral boundaries that both of us have. We are going to make that happen. Forest fires, earthquakes, all of that be damned. We're going to live in Los Angeles. You need to find those kinds of common denominators between all of the people who inspire you specifically. And you need to use those common denominators to begin charting your own path to prosperity, to success, whatever success looks like for you personally. Now, once you do that, guess what's going to happen? You're going to become successful. It's not going to be overnight. At least it very likely won't be overnight. But you will become successful. When you begin taking the fundamental steps that lead to success, you will become successful. If you start working out every day, you're going to get in good shape. Period. Period. Point blank, period. So once you become successful, what do you do now? Because now you need to reintegrate yourself into those same social circles that you once left. And what you'll find is that when you do reintegrate into those social circles, you will no longer relate to the people in those social circles in the way that you once did. And because of that, you very well may struggle to connect with them. When this happens, not if, but when this happens, because this is going to happen, you have two choices that you can make. The first choice is to simply find a new social circle. You can simply discard the old social circle. Maybe discard is a bit harsh, but you can stop interacting with the initial social circle, and you can find a new social circle who is more in tune with where you are at this point in time. Or the other option, which is the option that I picked, is you can take it as an opportunity to lead by example and inspire the people that you care about. That's the path that I picked because I value the relationships that I have very, very deeply. Because once again, I don't have a whole lot of friendships. I don't have a lot of friends. I have a very small circle. And those people that I am friends with, the people who are in my circle, I really, really value. And I see the potential in every single one of them without exception. And so what I did was I made it my mission to lead by example and put them on as much game as possible so that they could have the same kind of transformation that I had. And everyone has their own journeys, but I have seen pretty much all of them elevate in some way, shape, or form since I made that my mission. I'm not saying that it's entirely on me because they put in the work, but At the same time, I do believe that I was the first person in my friend group, the first person in my social circle to really isolate myself from everyone else and take this really, really big leap in a very short amount of time. And for me, that was during quarantine. So it literally just happened by circumstance. It wasn't like I consciously did it, it just happened. But I've noticed throughout my life that every time I've taken this quantum leap in terms of my success, in terms of my purpose, in terms of getting to where I want to go, it has always been during a period of extended isolation from other people. Now, social life is very important, and like I said, at some point you will reintegrate, but you want to make sure that when you do reintegrate, you are in a position where you can inspire those people around you, you can lead by example, and you can show them rather than just tell them that what you are doing, that taking the time to elevate yourself, to obsess over success, is not only worth it, but necessary to reach your goals. If you've made it this far into the video, then clearly you're looking to transform your life, whether that's your health, your finances, your love life, or your mindset. And transformation is much easier when you have a trustworthy person to hold your hand through the entire process. And that's why I'm proud to announce the pre-sale for my new coaching program. No, it's not some $997 course that promises to help you make $10,000 a month in 30 days. But it is all of my knowledge from 6 years of self-improvement in one convenient place. It is a brotherhood of young men like yourself who are looking to level up. It is a place where you can receive direct advice from me and learn all of my lessons with none of my losses. And if you join now, you can lock in the current price of $57 forever. Because once I officially launch it, the price is going up significantly. No, this isn't some fake scarcity marketing tactic. I'm actually increasing the price once it launches. That way, we won't have too many members causing chaos like in my old Discord server. If you know, you know. So if that sounds even remotely interesting to you, click the link in the description and join now.